Hey, math friends. So our learning target today is that I can find the area of a circle. So we're going to hone in just on the area of a circle. I tried to play the circle song like I did in the previous video, but I'm having issues because I have my mic hooked up as well. So then I'm unable to push play and record. So it's got a little bit of an issue with that. So you can watch that on your own if you want. Uh, you can find it on YouTube, but no big deals on that. So area, let's talk about area of a circle. So we have this circle here. We talked yesterday about the radius and the diameter. But now what is the area? The area is the space inside. And sometimes we call it like the pizza sauce. As we're going to put sauce all over the pizza, it's the pizza sauce. We're not talking about the pizza crust, the pizza sauce. So that's area. The formula for area is pi r squared sounds like area to me. When I need a circumference, I'll just use pi d. So area of a circle is this formula. So let's break that down a little bit and talk about each piece of that. To find the area, capital A, we take this thing called pi, which you should have heard in elementary school, but if not, it is the equivalency of 3.14 estimation. That is actually what the state of Minnesota wants us to use. Instead of the pi button on the calculator, they want us to approximate it at 3.14. We'll talk about why that is in a minute. And after we put that in our calculator, we're going to simply just multiply it, but whatever the radius is, quantity squared. So kind of the equivalent of pi times radius times radius. Now you do get to use your calculator in that expression, but that is the formula for area. So I'm going to move to a new screen quick and just talk about how pi was discovered. So ancient mathematicians took all different size circles. And what they realized is if you took the distance around the circle, which we think of as perimeter, but we can all call that circumference, and you divide it by the distance across the circle, which we call the diameter, on any size circle, whether it's a circular swimming pool, it's a penny, it's a coffee can, it doesn't matter, that the distance around, called circumference, divided by the distance across, called diameter, where you take a penny, distance across, called circumference, I meant to say distance around, sorry about that, distance around, called circumference, whoops, divided by the distance across, you would get, or this one on the end here, distance around, known as the circumference or the perimeter, divided by the distance across, known as the diameter. Every single time they did that, the circumference divided by diameter, 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 and it didn't matter the size of the circle. Every single time they got 3.1415 ... Something very, very close to that, which they then later discovered, or they later defined to be pi. They called it pi. That's the symbol that they use for it, and it represents essentially 3.14 when we approximate it. So that is why it was discovered, or where it came from. So going back to our original page here. So that is the why and where pi came from. So now let's go ahead and try to find the area of this first circle. So first thing that I have is this line that goes from side to side all the way across, known as the diameter, which means it's really 9 plus 9 gets me to an 18. So if we take the area, we take pi, which we know has been defined as 3.14. The beauty of this is it's just going to be calculator work, times the radius. And the radius goes from center to rim. The radius is 1/2 the diameter, so 9 squared, because it's pi times radius squared. So pi times 9 squared. So simply just use your calculator. Now, right now, if you don't have your cell phone on you or you don't have a calculator, you're going to need to grab one. So go ahead and pause the video because you will need it for this entire lesson. I'm not sure that I said that at the beginning. So I'm going to type in 3.14. And if you need to pause the video, do it. This is about your learning. Times 9 squared. Boom. So 3.14 times the radius squared. So the area of this circle would be 254.3 2.14 centimeters squared. Squared because it's two-dimensional area. So that's how we find the area. Pi r squared sounds like area to me. Boom. That's the first question today. The next question today is, we know that this is the radius. It's 6. And a 6 plus a 6 would be the diameter. So the formula says area is equal to pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. Multiplication. So that would be 3.14 times the radius. The radius is 6. It's half the line. Halfway across is 6. The radius is 6 this time. So we're going to just type that in our calculator to get the area is 3.14 times 6 squared. Boom. And we get 113.04. Check it out. Type it in yourself. Do it. Pause the video if you need to. But we're talking about space inside these circles. How much pizza sauce, how much space inside the circle is what we're looking for when we look for the area of a circle. Boom. Coolio. Pause the video if you are confused or you need to go back or you need to get a calculator, etc. I'm going to move to the next question. I voted today button. So what we notice or observe about the I voted today button is that it has a half line. So therefore that is the radius. So that really would be a 3 plus a 3 all the way across. So that would be the diameter. Area is defined by pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. So we have a 3.14 times the radius squared. This is my radius, one half of it. So 3 squared. Boom. It's really like a 3.14 times 9, but I'm going to type that in. 3.14 times 3 squared, and I get 28.6 centimeters squared. Boom. Final answer, 28.26 centimeters squared. Coolio. Yeah, that is the area. Ooh, I might have just stopped recording. No, I guess I didn't. I guess you're still stuck with me. All right, cool. Now, another way to write this, too, is that this really means 9, right? This really means pi. So you could say that the area is also 9 pi. They have these two things have the same value, just in FYI. Next problem, let's do it. That highlighter is not going to work, y'all. Let's go to the pen tool and let's get like a light color. So the distance across here, boom, 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 boom. We call that the diameter. That's the diameter. So that's really a 12 plus a 12 all the way across. So that's my radius. That's my diameter. Pi r squared sounds like area to me. So that's pi, times the radius is 12 squared. Type it in. So we get 3.14 times 12 squared. Do it. What is the area of that circle? The space inside the pizza sauce is 452.16 inches squared. Because we're talking space inside. It's two-dimensional. That's the space inside that circle. Yeah. Fun. Isn't this so fun? Geometry. 9-minute mark of this video today. We have, it looks like 5 questions left. Let's do it. Next problems are right here. The one on the left is a decimal, as you see. This is looking like a line that goes from side to side crossing through the center, and that is 4.8. So if we slice that in half, we would go, well, that's really like a 2.4 plus a 2.4, 1/2. That's my radius. That's my diameter. Let's do it. So area of a circle, we get pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. Got a decimal in here this time, so I am going to use this handy dandy calculator that's in my hand. Radius is 2.4 because it's one half of it. Let's do it. So we go 3.14 times 2.4 squared. And I'm going to round it to 18 digit would be 0, rounding to the 9. So look at your calculator there and see that I'm going to round that to the what we call the hundredths place. 18.09 centimeters squared is the space inside. Yay! Coolio. 10-minute mark. Next problem. That's called a radius. And really it would be 70 plus a 70 all the way to be a diameter. So that's a radius. That's 1/2 of the rug. So the area is pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. 3.14 times the radius squared. Cool. 3.14 times the radius of 70 squared gives me a big number. We're talking about the area in centimeters squared of this rug. It would be 15,386. Now we're talking centimeters, so we're talking a small unit here, but centimeters squared of area. So if you were talking about, does that rug fit in my living room? Do I have enough space? We don't often measure in centimeters, however, so they'll probably have picked a different unit, but that's okay. That's more of a metric measurement. We would use more of like how many feet does it cover in our living room, perhaps. Coolio, we're at the 11-minute mark. Let's do this, guys. Hang in there. Come on. This is your geometry work for 7th grade, required for 7th grade. Next problem. I might save that for area of a sector, actually. And the last 2 problems of the day. Find the area. So this problem here, this is really 5 for the radius, right? That's our radius. So 5 plus 5 would be the diameter. We only need the radius, FYI. So I'm going to have you pause the video and try these 2 on your own. Like, actually do it, right? This is your journey. This is your future. You're responsible for it. Let's do it. Be serious about that. And then come back. So, do it. All right, you should be just coming back from that video. Let's see how you did. The 3.14 is our representation of pi, or approximation. The radius this time is just 5. It's just that line 5. We don't need the diameter. Quantity squared. So that really is like a 25 pi for another way to look at it. But anyway, long story short, if we were to type that in our calculator, we would have 78.5. The unit on that was inches, I believe. I crossed it off. Inches squared. So we're talking about the space on the front side of that drum would be 78.5 inches squared. Boom. The last problem of the day. Yay! So the last problem of the day is this. Let's do it, do it, do it. 7 is the diameter. Now you should have already tried this, so this shouldn't be too fast because you're like, I already solved it, I'm just checking. So that's really a 3.5, and a 3.5 makes a 7. That's our radius. Boom. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. We go 3.14 as our approximate for pi. My radius is this decimal as 3.5. I am going to use my calculator on this one. 3.14 times 3.5 quantity squared. 3.5. I better type that in again because something looks a little messy there. And we end up with 38.47 centimeters squared, and I rounded it. I rounded that. I just took the first 2 digits. I'm going to type that in one more time because something seems goofy to me. Oh, we got it. So that is the area or the space inside the circle. Okay, so the summary for today is this. Circles. This is the radius. That is the diameter. Remember, a radius plus a radius equals a diameter. And to measure the area or the space inside, pi r squared sounds like area to me. So we're really talking about space. Area is space. Area is space. Boom. That's it for today. Have a glorious night.